Hi, I'm Gregg with Colonel Banker, and I'm sitting here with Melissa Valera with Cornerstone Title. And first, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I have just a few little questions for you.
Sure.
One, we deal with a lot of first-time home buyers. And when I say we need to open escrow or we need to talk to title, we're going to you to do this. So a lot of these guys, they really don't know what that is.
Right.
Could you kind of enlighten everyone?
Sure. So escrow, to begin with, is a neutral party of a transaction. So, you have your buyer and their representation and your seller. Mm-hmm. And we are taking instruction from both sides, mainly from the contract. So we don't support either side more than the other. We're neutral. Mm-hmm. We handle all of the financial aspect of the transaction. So all of the money coming and going in a real estate transaction is what we're facilitating.
Okay.
But ultimately, we're ensuring that your buyer is purchasing a property that is clear from any judgments, liens, encumbrances, anything that may come up to affect their ownership. And if it does come up once they own the property, the title company will handle all claims financially.
Okay. Another question I have too when I start trying to explain it, of course I can't explain it as well as you do.
Yeah.
They'll ask, well, if we get in a contract and my initial deposit's in and we decide to cancel the contract, how do we do that?
Well, first and foremost, I want to call their real estate agent.
Yes, thankfully.
So again, as a neutral party, we're taking instructions. Mm-hmm. So the buyer would have to contact their agent and discuss with their agent if there's any repercussions to that, first of all, where they're at in the contract. Mm-hmm. And then at that point, the agent will probably reach out to escrow, let us know that there's a cancellation, and we will require written cancellation instructions from the seller as well.
So both parties are going to have to sign.
Yes, we will not release deposits without mutual instructions.
Okay, that's very helpful to know because we don't cancel a lot of contracts, but it does come up, and yes, people need to know about that information too. When we're going through the process for you, mm-hmm, as an escrow officer, what is the most important time? Is it at the beginning or right at the end or the day that we're signing and closing?
Well, for the buyer side?
Yes.
Yes. So on the buyer side, I think upfront the initial deposit day is mm-hmm very important due to real estate fraud. So that was probably the top priority, is that your buyer is talking to the correct person mm-hmm at the escrow company,
right,
and they're verifying their wire instructions or communicating how they're going to get the deposit to escrow. That is crucial in the beginning so that there is no issues with the deposit being sent to the wrong place. And then from there, the next really big day is when the loan documents arrive.
Okay.
And setting up an appointment with your buyer. So if your buyer might be out of town, or some people work hours that mm-hmm are hard to get signings, those mm-hmm are all things you want to know up front. So when you get to that day of signing your loan documents, the buyer is prepared and ready.
Okay. You did mention fraud. And I tell my clients when we go into escrow that, okay, I can see the prelim, I look at the prelim, I'm kind of matching that with the escrow officer here and the escrow officer there, and I tell my clients to call the escrow officer and verify all the routing numbers and make sure they're talking to the person that is the escrow officer. Does that hopefully take some of this away?
Yes. So up front, you should have a title report in your disclosures, mm-hmm, and you want to use the phone number on that title report. You can also Google search most title companies to make sure you're calling their main phone number. Mm-hmm. You never want to assume that an email received is from the correct party unless you have verified the escrow officer's contact information.
Okay, we can do that. This has been very helpful. Is there anything else you would like to add? Come on now.
Well, first, thank you for letting me kind of explain what title and escrow does in a transaction. I will say real estate is one of your biggest financial transactions, and I always say that communication is key, that everyone's communicating what's happening, and that you take the time to make the calls, to verify information in this busy world that we live in.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you.